Hi everyone, I'm Irene Foster and I'm Professor of Economics at the George Washington University, and I'm also Director of Inclusive Excellence for the Department of Economics. I am thrilled to introduce myself as one of the authors of the newly revised Principles of Economics textbooks. I also serve on the Committee for Economic Education on the American Economics Association. The students that we have today are not the students that we had from 40 years ago. There have been a lot of technological changes. We now have the internet, we have new technology, and students have been through a pandemic, so a lot has changed. And we have to meet students where they are, not expect them to be what they were like 20 years ago or 40 years ago, and continue teaching as we did 40 years ago or 20 years ago. I think I've become much more conscious of everything that students are going through. I see a lot of anxiety in the classroom. I see a lot of many more mental health issues than we used to before. I think also people are more comfortable talking about them, which makes it a lot easier. And so I've really changed my syllabus to allow for some grace. So not as strict grading as I was doing before, making the subject more relevant and motivating, and trying to connect it to the real world, which I find really motivates students to learn the stuff. So we really felt that a revision was in order, given a lot of what is going on with students. We wanted to make it more concise, easy to read. We wanted to limit every chapter to just a few key learning outcomes and to assign the homework questions within the chapter itself so that the reading became much more manageable for students. So they would read a little bit, answer a question, read a little bit, answer a question, instead of having to read an entire chapter and then answer a whole bunch of questions on the content. We know that there are some professors who would like to have more robust math content in the textbook. And so for them, we have math supplements that's added mathematics that they can add to the chapter. But we also know that there are professors who have students who are unprepared, whose students don't know basic mathematics. So we also have math refreshers, which will look at simple topics like, percentage changes, how to calculate an area, and so on. The process of updating the textbook and bringing in relevant examples is one that's constantly ongoing. So for example, think about the Trump administration coming in and all the new executive orders that we're hearing about. So to understand the impact of those executive orders on the economy, it might take other textbooks maybe 2 years, maybe longer than that. With the Top Hat platform, we could make those changes as soon as next term. And the other piece of it is that Top Hat is so customizable. So a faculty member who wanted to make adjustments to the content to meet the needs of their classroom can do so as easily as just making a change in Microsoft Word. So there might be content that I don't use in the classroom, but that's still in the textbook. And sometimes students get very confused about why did they have to pay so much for this textbook when they're not using half of the content in the textbook or the professor never mentioned it in class. Whereas in Top Hat, I have the ability to not be able to use that content. The questions are very easy to change. I can create my own questions, and whatever existing questions there are, I can change them at will in any way I want. I also find that the connectivity between Top Hat and my LMS, my learning management system, is as simple as a click of one button. When you teach a large class of freshmen, they're just not the same people that I had in the class even 5 years ago. Their interests are different, who they're talking about is different, and you have to meet them where they are.